Hi, my name is Billy Wink. I'm the CEO of HV Auto, and today we're going to talk about the 2026 992.2 Carrera GTS. So the 992.2 as a whole, some new updates on these cars is they all come standard in the coupes as two-seaters, but you have the option to have the rear seat. So that's something new on these cars. Another thing on these cars is standard now, the interior, the instrument cluster is fully digital. So that's something that's kind of interesting on all the .2s. Another thing, and I absolutely hate this by the way, and I don't know if this is just me being a dinosaur, is this right here. I do not like this button. I don't like it. But that's a new feature on the .2s. Another one is wireless phone charging. So that's standard on all these. In the center console, you got wireless charging. And then the other thing is the mode select button is now standard on all .2s. With the new generation facelift 911, those are like just some basic standard things on all these cars. Now, as far as the Carrera GTS, I'm gonna basically just walk you around some of the new, I guess, additions to the car and changes, and also give you some basic specs on the car, which you probably know most of these, so my goal is to point out the stuff that as a user you're going to experience and see the difference in. Biggest change that this car has and that people are scared of, including myself, is this right here, T-Hybrid. So what does that mean for you? On this particular car, on the GTS models, they now come standard with a electric motor assist on the turbocharger. Right here in this area, the car is the new single turbo on this car. It has an electric motor that spools the turbo up quicker, and then the PDK also has an electric motor, and the purpose of this is for performance, which I do believe is the case based on how the car performs and reacts with these new additions to it. With that being said, these cars now have 532 horsepower and 449 foot-pounds of torque and a 0 to 60 time in 2.9 seconds, although some sources have been able to pull off in 2.6. It does add another 103 pounds to the car, which isn't really that much, considering there's, additional battery and other things added to the car. And then also rear axle steering is now standard on these as well. So that's some of the updates on the .2 GTS. But the biggest thing overall on this car that we're gonna see different is the actual powertrain now has hybrid assist. So you probably know most of the new things for these cars from all the press release, but I want to give you more like a show and tell. So right now, okay, it looks pretty similar. The plastic panels do look a little different here. This is a little different. This is a little different, right? So you've got the center lock tool. You've got your inflation kit, just some of that stuff, right? This looks a little different here, the plastic and whatnot. And then obviously when you open this up here, something I didn't notice is I don't see the little hook, which I'm assuming the reason being for that is what you can see in the background, and that is this. They probably don't want you to get anywhere near this because this is the new hybrid cables you're going to see right here. Obviously, as you can see right here, this looks a little different than what we've been seeing before, because previously you had the center lock here, the tool, and they've moved it to here, and my guess is they don't want you getting anywhere near this battery because of the high voltage and the danger sign. This is definitely something that is unusual seeing on 911, and I would advise you not to try to change the battery on this car because you will have a bad experience if you don't do it the right way. One of my favorite new additions, or actually that might not be the right word because they actually removed a feature, is there is no longer the turn signal here, which I really like. In fact, I like it so much on my 993 that I'm doing, I actually shaved the turn signal for my car because I'm going to put it in the headlight just like they did. So I really like that. The next thing you'll notice is obviously the fins right here. The bumper design is different. You've got a vent with airflow here. You've got an intercooler here, but then you also have the adaptive cruise camera here, which I don't understand quite why it's shaped like this. Obviously it's Porsche, they have a reason why they did it. I would like to understand why they did it though, because I don't like the way it looks. I think it should just be a nice little camera in the center. But as you can tell, the front end of the car is definitely different. Obviously the headlights are different, the front bumper is different, but the side's pretty much the same, although the wheels are a little bit different shaped with the center lock. As we move to the rear end of the car, rear bumper's definitely a different design, and the fins here are different too, which, when I was researching this car online, I didn't see anywhere that actually talked about this, but this is actually different. So you can see it's not got the little fins like it did. They're a little bit more spread out, and there's some vents here. And then if you look down in here, it looks like this is like a noise tube. And forgive my ignorance if I'm not calling it the right name. It's like a sound deadener of some sort, but this is an intercooler and there's that. So I need to dig more into these, understand what this device is, but I'm very interested in that. And then, but also you can plainly see the intercoolers right there, which is really nice. It really looks like their deck lit, or the rear wing, is actually a little bit higher compared to the previous cars. For some reason, maybe I'm just imagining that, but it does look higher. The brake light is definitely a little different. Like the Porsche logo is recessed in here. Then you've got this little slit in here. I'm not sure exactly if that's just like for looks, but that's definitely different. Diffuser is definitely a little different. The side marker is, and obviously the exhaust system is laid out very different as well. Is just like a 930. There is the turbocharger right there. Very big turbo. You can see the electric motor assist. You can see the orange cables. And then you can see where it comes into the emission system here, and how the actual muffler is over here. But it's a very different setup. And then you can even look here and see where the air comes in from the top and comes out down here from the intercooler. All right, so this is inside of the Dot 2. I don't actually mind the screen. You know, I'm not like a complete dinosaur, so I actually like the way that looks. It looks cool. Nothing like major stands out, although there is I'm assuming this is a microphone for the Bluetooth here. Door panels pretty much look the same. I mean, if there's changes, it's like not noticeable. They're not jumping out at me. Center console is very much the same. And obviously this has the rear seat, which is an option. If I'm not mistaken, there's no cost. And here we go. So now this is what you see. So I actually like this. This is cool. You got the boost gauge, mile per hour. You got the RPMs, you know, all the information, right? And you know, we can change the screen here, or we can see the map. Then I guess this is your where the car like sent something in front of you if you're using adaptive cruise. More of just focused on some of the basic information here. Here's just another one with the tachometer, tire pressures, basic information here. And this is the one I like the most. It's got pretty much more of a conventional layout. And then here is obviously like the sport button, which is pretty much the same as before. Normal, sport, sport plus, wet. Starts instantly. Like, watch this. No. That's crazy. It's like instantly start. So that just goes to show how efficient the direct injection is, the ignition, the timing, all of that, the coils, everything. It's like, phew. That's really, really interesting how quick this car starts. And then sport mode, you can hear a little bit, not much. All right, let's rev it up. This sounds different. It's almost like a cyborg sound. It almost sounds like a 930. Yeah, you can hear the difference, but it's not huge like you would normally expect. GTS, typically the sport exhaust is extremely loud, so that's definitely gonna take some getting used to. But yeah, that's pretty much like the major stuff I see. Obviously, you know, the user interface is different here. It seems to be a little bit updated. It looks like you know, you got the Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, all that standard stuff on here. Overall, it's not like a major update, but it is updated. You've got a little adjustments, little improvements, but the biggest one is the engine. That's huge. Overall, I think it's really cool. Typically a dinosaur, when the word hybrid and EV gets mentioned, I start to like kind of like, I don't want any part of that. I think I see what Porsche is doing here, and what they're basically saying is like, hey, we're gonna call it a hybrid. We're gonna implement some hybrid technology, but really we're just doing it to make the EPA and the government happy. We're going to do as little as we can, and at the same time give some performance and improve the vehicle throughout that process. So, you know, my limited driving experience with the car, the thing is very responsive, very quick. It literally sounds like a 930 turbo, kind of like it's got that like weird bassy sound those have. I think though it's definitely a quick car. I do like the update on the front end. I think it looks phenomenal. I'm not the biggest fan of the adaptive cruise, the way they put that box there, but overall, I think it's a really cool car. I think they keep going this direction and don't completely make it a full-on hybrid or EV. I think the people like me that are enthusiasts will still be happy, and I'm hoping Porsche will preserve these cars as long as they can. And if you're interested in buying one of these cars and, you know, it's something that piques your interest, I think you should definitely consider it. I think it's a fun car, and I think they're gonna make people very happy for years to come. So right now, obviously, these are very new to the market. Currently, depending on spec, I'm seeing these things sell for about 30K or MSRP. Typically, we're seeing like a Carrera GTS is around 220 to 240 depending on build, and the Ford GTS we're seeing about 240 to 260 depending on the build. And so far, there's about 30 of these for sale online. Count 2025 and 2026, and they seem to be selling pretty well. The thing that's strange with the Porsche market right now is lack of new cars coming in. It does seem like a lot of the older cars are going up in value due to lack of inventory, so it's very possible these things could stay above MSRP for another year or two. So those are my thoughts on the 992.2 Carrera GTS. Hopefully you liked the video, and if you have any questions or want to see anything that we didn't cover, just comment below. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.